just been so many different kinds of disasters, natural and man-made, where you want to help others.
esar VIP is primarily an electronic database where there's a conglomerate of healthcare professionals that can be called on for the medical reserve purposes.
Whenever the need arises, they'll have this special pool of people to be able to pull and immediately deploy without having to sort through all the documentation. Nobody's really thinking of going around searching. They just want to be able to pull up the information ASAP and deploy.
The MRC is strictly local. The esar VIP gives you the ability to be deployed outside your jurisdiction.
Conceptually, esar VIP is a wonderful idea. In emergency events, pre-credentialing is critical. So knowing what the capability of the individual who's standing in front of you saying, I want to help is an important thing to do.
Certainly all of the medical profession, physicians as well as nurses, dentists, radiologists, but also technicians.
Nurses, doctors, EMS personnel, paramedics, pharmacists, everybody.
You could be a paramedic, you could be an EMT. We need nurses' aides. We need mental health professionals.
First responders, EMTs.
Lab technicians, phlebotomists.
Medical professionals have sort of a skill set that the general population does not have.
First of all, you would have to make sure that when you applied with the MRC that you ensured that you would check that box that says deploy out of county.
If they clicked the box and said they would be willing to go on a federal deployment, would be a person eligible to go to another state for an emergency.
In New Jersey, you have to be in the MRC to be involved in the esar VIP program because the MRC database is where the esar VIP database draws from. And the training also comes from the Medical Reserve Corps for esar VIP volunteers.
There's no ties to us that forces us to go to these disasters.
You only give as much as you can. You know, that's as much as appreciated. Everybody has different levels of commitment.
You have the opportunity to say no if you wish, but I don't think that's why volunteers join organizations like this, because they want to say yes. Any type of natural catastrophic disaster, an earthquake, tornado, any type of healthcare professional would really be able to provide assistance and care, and certainly a higher level of our standard of care than, say, a layman would.
It's important to go to those classes that the Medical Reserve Corps does provide for us that kind of explains how the whole process works, how the Medical Reserve Corps functions. You know, we've gone to classes to know how to work at a Red Cross shelter.
It's one thing to have it written on paper that you have a plan. It's another thing to actually go through it.
Drills are the best way to coordinate and get that camaraderie and that esprit de corps that you can actually depend on. The coordinating program or such would get the arrangements ready for you. Their job is to get you there. Your job is to do what you have to do while you're there. When it comes to it, you know, it's all about, you know, the heart racing. What can you do? Am I going to be able to do it right? And you're pretty much on the spotlight. But usually with programs like this, you have enough people with the same kind of commitment. If you're lucky to get sleep, you get it wherever you can. You know, the human body is pretty resilient to those things. If you're dealing with the situation, you got to remember that most of these people that you're helping, you know, are a lot worse off than you are.
I think they have to think about their general state of health, being able to walk a certain distance, being able to maybe carry a certain weight, being able to stay awake or maintain alertness.
In an emergency, you always have a jump bag ready. Obviously, you're not going to need to look good, so toiletries and such like that usually they provide if you're lucky. But pretty much whatever you need to basically get through the first 72 hours.
Water purification tablets and a water purifier and a dry bag.
We have go packs that the MRC supplies to us that have the flashlights and the batteries and the equipment we would need.
Be prepared to be completely self-sufficient. Make believe you're going to be living in a swamp and be completely self-sufficient for at least the first week.
You are prepared to travel with your own medical needs and to be able to take care of yourself as you're trying to take care of other people.
When you commit to something like this, you can't really go, expecting you're going to be right in and out. That they have administrative slots for something like that, but when you want to be in the field and down with the actual situation, you have to be ready to be there for as long as it takes.